Heyo! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. I'm a reader, a writer, a generally chaotic human being, an office supply addict, and I dabble in crochet. I have done a thing, writing-wise. So, I don't think I've verbalized these thoughts in any videos, on any streams, or even really to many of my friends, if any of them at all. I had been thinking for a while about removing my work from KindleVella. I didn't tell anyone this, not really, I don't think, and it's for several reasons. The first being KindleVella. So, for some background for anyone who doesn't know, I come from a fan fiction writing background, and as a writer and a reader. So, I thought KindleVella would be great because I was so used to doing chapter by chapter things. And yeah, it got the chapter by chapter part pretty good. But they promoted KindleVella as being community and having contact with readers. So if you have read fanfiction or been part of fanfiction.net, AO3, either one of those, or I have little experience on Wattpad, but some experience on Wattpad, all of those you can comment chapter by chapter, or review in the case of fanfiction.net, chapter by chapter. So you as a reader can share your thoughts and your feelings and your opinions each chapter. As the writer, you can generally reply to those. Whether on fanfiction.net, you can do like an overall one, but most of the time the person would have to go through and read it, or you can private message them your response, or put it in your work in the author note section on AO3, or Archive of Our Own, that's what it's called. You can respond in the comments, and you can actually have a conversation with people. You can do something very similar on Wattpad, where they can comment chapter by chapter, and you can respond to them. So that is kind of what I was thinking that you would get with KindleVella. Something kind of similar to those, like where the person would be able to comment on chapters, and you'd actually be able to have a somewhat conversation. But it's not. What you can do with KindleVella, like, it can work this way, but it's not what I thought it would be. So your comments, you don't comment, you review on the whole thing. You can't just have us share your thoughts on one chapter. So you'd have to leave like an actual review. That's not what I was expecting. Like, that it's a review over the whole thing, doesn't state chapter by chapter. The author can set up a poll, they can do author notes, but there's no way for it to be a conversation, to be more community-esque. And that is honestly what I thought or had hoped KindleVella would be. That's kind of how I read or felt the promotion towards the author was and geared towards, but it's not what I got. What you got was your readers can review the whole project, and you as an author can set up polls on chapters, but no comments, no conversation, no actual community aspect of it. Also, your author notes couldn't even have links, so you couldn't even point them really in a direction that they could comment and share and have a conversation with you. Also, I fully understand the exclusivity of it. I had no problem with that if I also had the aspects I was expecting. The conversational aspect, the community aspect of it, which is not what I got. And that is the primary reason why I've made the decision that I did. And it had been this decision has been months in the making. Almost a year in the making, in all honesty. And it's not just because other people, like my friends, have removed their KindleVellas and announced it. That it helped solidify some of my decision to remove my work from KindleVella because of my already existing thoughts and feelings on some of that, as well as, in all honesty, I have never truly had the thoughts or opinion that money is the end goal. Some people have differing opinions that why would you write if you don't want money? The thing is, I write because I love to write. I love the characters I've created. I love the world I've created. And also my brain doesn't shut off. So if I didn't write, I would just go wild. Probably. I have a very creative mind in that I am constantly creating more dang ideas and more world building and so much. I write, so there are those people, I'm one of them, that to get themselves to go to sleep, whether they're trying to listen to an audio book, they have music going, they have the sounds and stuff, they still tell stories to themselves to go to sleep. There was a TikTok that explained this so well, because your brain just doesn't stop. I do it until I fall asleep, in all honesty. And I just keep building and building and building, and actually writing my books and creating my world building and all of that is an outlet. Because no matter what I'm going to be creating it, I feel like maybe I could share it. And that's honestly why I originally started writing fan fiction. And then my brain started developing original content. And I was like, well, where am I going to put this? And that's why I decided to write a book. And I'm still planning on publishing my book. Don't get me wrong. I'm still publishing it. I have removed my work from KindleVella. It, because it had so few viewers, both Shadow and Blood Rain Trilogy received the exception. I'm like, this is a one-time exception, but you gave it to me twice. Okay, cool. Thanks, bro. So normally when you remove something from KindleVella, it takes 60 days for it to be removed. I have had so few viewers in a certain amount of time, less than 3 readers in the last month, apparently, according to this email, that within 72 hours of submitting my request, both my stories will be removed from KindleVella. Do not fret. If you wanted to read it chapter by chapter, you still can. Not at this time, because I'm packing for family stuff. I finally hit the buttons, by the way, that's the email. KindleVella will not be, my works will not be available on KindleVella, but because it's no longer on KindleVella, it does not have to exist behind a paywall. So, I will not be doing it this week or this weekend, because I'm packing and getting stuff ready to pack and going to be traveling to visit family. So I won't have the ability to do this this weekend or possibly next week, because between work and traveling, it's a thing. But at some point this month of March 2023, my stuff will become available on Patreon and Ko-fi for free. It will no longer have to be behind a paywall. Some of this is inspiration to me from C.E. Dorset, aka Charlie Dorset. And some of it is thought processes I've had for a while. I have never intended for writing to become a primary income. I'm going to be honest. It is a side benefit that sharing stuff does give me money, but I come from a fan fiction background where I read that for free. And it's illegal to make money from it, in all honesty. There's copyright laws and everything involved. That's a whole situation. But I feel that, yes, I will be eternally grateful if people do decide, hey, even though you're giving this to me for free on Ko-fi and Patreon, I'm going to support you on those things. That's great. That's awesome if they do decide to do that. But otherwise, my stuff is going to be available for free on Ko-fi, Patreon, and World Anvil. So on World Anvil, I currently have stuff, except for the first 3 chapters, behind a paywall, because that's how you had to do it with KindleVella. That paywall is going to be removed. And also, some of the things that I want to do and intend to do with my work, I don't really want it to be limited. So I intend to actually have my quote-unquote audiobook for free here on my YouTube channel. How I'm going to do that is once I'm actually done editing my book, so the quote-unquote final version, which is not going to be the best version, in all honesty. It'll be what I can get it to without affording an editor. So on my own, and I will be honest, I'm a shit editor. I'm better at creating things than editing them. So inspired by my dad, actually. So when I was younger, I would read, you have when you're learning to read, you get that assignment that you have to go home and you have to read to your parents or your parent has to read to you, and they have to sign the slip. Like that assignment, like kindergartners, first graders, second graders get, where their book goes home in a little plastic bag with the paper and the book. So I would read to my dad. And as I got older, I still would read to my dad. I'd be sitting at the table if I was reading something, or whether it was a book I was just reading, or a random article on the internet, in all honesty, or just a non-fiction thing that I had in front of me as well. Didn't have to be fiction. My dad would be like, hey, what are you reading? And I'd tell him what it was, and he'd be like, hey, would you be willing to read that to me aloud? Or sometimes he'd just hand me things like, hey, can you read this to me? My dad has really bad dyslexia, and he has really bad close-up vision. It's really entertaining watching him read menus. If he forgets his glasses, he goes like this. It's funny, but not. So my dad really likes to read, and he loves stories and so much. He loves stories and stuff. He really likes audiobooks now because my stepmom gets audiobooks and she'll play them so my dad can hear them too. And that's amazing because my dad, he really does love books, and surprisingly, but it hurts his head. He gets a headache from reading, so he truly reads what he has to. Like, he'll read paperwork and mail and stuff because he has to read that. But you can't read for fun if it hurts your head. So my dad is the inspiration behind that. I would like to do my audiobook here on my YouTube channel, because he told me, this was actually a couple years ago, but it was definitely after I left for college and I was on my own. He basically told me, baby girl, I miss listening to you read to me, because I used to read to my dad all the time growing up. Elementary, from the start of schooling to the time I left, I would randomly be reading random things to my dad. And so he's the inspiration that I will just be, I'm not the best narrator, I will give you that, but available here once my chapters are done and edited. I will be doing voice recordings and sharing here on my YouTube channel, chapter by chapter, my book. I also plan to have the edited versions available as well. The audiobook for sure is going to be free, as well as like previous versions. So what will be available on Ko-fi and Patreon and World Anvil is like not the final polished draft, if you will. The free part won't be available. The polished final version, or the quote-unquote semi-polished version, because let's be real, it's not the best. That would be, the final chapters would be, I guess, behind the paywall. You'd have to support me. But I still want to give you drafts and stuff behind that. So when my book is ready, that is what the audio available here will be. So I'm hoping that by the time I'm done editing the book, and before it's published on like Amazon and all of that, I will, when it is released, it will also be available in audio form here on my channel. And of course, then people don't have to pay, because like, let's be real, life is hard and expensive. So there's that. I don't know if I want to do Kindle Unlimited or not. Yes, it'd be a great way to earn money, but also there's that exclusivity clause that they have, and that's not what I'm leaning towards here. I write because I like to write, because I'm driven to write. It's a passion and it's something I love to do. I'm not writing to earn money. That's different from a lot of people, and I understand that. So yeah, these have been thoughts that have been going around in my head for a while, and I don't always share those thoughts. So often I get other people's opinions before I make certain decisions, and then sometimes I'm just like, feet first, let's go. This situation though is something I have been thinking about off and on for a while. So yeah. But no longer will my stuff be linked on KindleVella. I will do an announcement video when my draft 1 to whatever it is becomes available on Ko-fi and Patreon for free for both Shadow and Blood Rain trilogy, books 1. I am still drafting book 1 of Blood Rain trilogy. Book 1 has been drafted of Shadow. I am currently working on its edits. One day, you will get it in complete form. But for now, those initial drafts, the ones specifically that were available on KindleVella and behind the paywall on Ko-fi and Patreon, those are going to become available for free to you from me. And then again, if you want to support me on Ko-fi or Patreon, I love you and so much. Like, you have no idea how like much I appreciate that. But I also understand when people can't or don't have the money to do that. If you have the ability to, thank you so much, and I love you and appreciate you. But if you don't, that shouldn't hinder you from having access to things. And so I don't want that to hinder you. If you want to know what my books are about, if you've heard some of the things I've talked about them, and you're like, I want to know, but I can't pay for that. Money is not the issue anymore. You just need a Ko-fi account or a Patreon account for free. And then if you're able to support me, please, thank you. I love you. But if not, I still love you and appreciate you. Just share your opinion with me. That's the thing I really care about. is knowing that people possibly liked what I wrote. So, thank you so much for watching this almost 20-minute video. Because we're at 19 minutes now. If you liked my video at any point, could you give me a thumbs up? If you want more content from me, could you hit subscribe? That also includes potentially when I actually do the audiobook version of my stuff and share it here. You guys will be getting that as well. You won't need a link, it'll just be open to the public, okay? So, yeah. Money is not the goal in this scenario. I've always intended to have a full-time job. So, if all you did today is get out of bed, I'm proud of you. Heck, if you just woke up and didn't get out of bed, I'm still proud of you. Getting out of bed does count as just walking to the bathroom and going to the bathroom, by the way. Like, that counts. But maybe drink some water. Hydration is important. Maybe nibble on some crackers. I don't know. Just something in your body. Keep yourself going. Keep yourself alive. Okay. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. And you guys will be getting crochet content from me, possible writing content from me. I don't know what you'll get from me. In all honesty, I'm not gonna lie. But I will talk at you later. Goodbye. And I'm proud of you.